Hello again guys, it's Carly from the Poetry of Nice, and today I have another weekly comments roundup for you all. If you haven't caught one of these videos yet already, this is basically where I take a handful of comments from the week. It could be questions, it could be tips, all from you guys, and I share them in a video to give a little bit more detail in my answer back to you, and also to just share any really good sort of genius tips that I feel like have come my way during the week with anybody else out there who it might be helpful for. By the way, if you're new here, this is a channel all about reselling online. I currently sell on Etsy, eBay and Poshmark, and I do that while being a stay-at-home parent to 3 little boys, 5 and under. So basically on this channel it's all about balancing work and life as mama, as a reseller, and I like to share things like sales videos and hauls videos, how-tos, tutorials, day in the life, and all kinds of other cool stuff in between. So if that sounds interesting to you, please do think about hitting that subscribe button down below, and don't forget to say hello in the comments so that I can say hi back. Alright, so let's just crack on. I have, like I said, a handful of comments and tips and things like that from the week that I've gathered up and I wanted to share with you all. So here we go. Okay, so comment number 1 is from Here's Looking at Me Kid. Love that screen name. It says, I'd love to know your thoughts about choosing categories on your Poshmark listings. Do you always use the subcategories or do you just use the broader category? For example, if you list a pair of boots, do you select and use the shoe category only, or do you narrow it down to something like ankle boots? What a good question. So for me personally, it really depends on the item. If it is absolutely 100% an ankle boot, there is nothing else that it could ever possibly be, I will probably narrow it down to an ankle boot. However, if it is a, I don't know, Mary Jane espadrille wedge sandal, and it could be all kinds of different things, that's a bit more difficult. So I will often choose what it is predominantly. Espadrilles, for instance, are very popular, so I might go with that as the category, since I think that would enhance the search. But you are kind of taking a gamble there, because they are right in a way within their comment where they say that can potentially narrow down your audience, whoever's going to find that item when they search for what it is that they are wanting. So I completely see their point, and I kind of lean towards what they are saying, where if you're not 100% sure and you feel like it can end up in all kinds of different categories, or it could satisfy the search of all kinds of different buyers who might be looking for something and might see it and decide, actually that is the one thing that I was looking for, I just didn't necessarily know it yet, which can happen when shopping online. I would probably stick with the broader search. Maybe something like shoes, sandal would be good, since that is broader. It's far more broad than a wedge or an espadrille or something like that, or a Mary Jane, whatever, that I was using for my example. I'm really curious though as well to see what everybody else does. So let me know down below, how do you list things on Poshmark? Do you narrow down as much as possible when it comes to category, or do you like to keep it kind of broad so that more people potentially could find you? Having said that, it may even be swings and roundabouts, because when you stay in that broader search, you obviously have more competition, because it's, you know, there's just more people out there within that category. It's a broader category, it has room for more people. So I'd be really interested to see what everybody else out there does and how you think it works for you. Okay, so the next comment I'm going to share, because I think I had a little bit of a fail. Well, it's not really a fail, but this week I want to share with you something that I had to do with a sale. And so this is the comment. Jennifer Kessler says that Jude Connolly stuff is fire, which is an item I picked up in my last thrifting haul. She said, I see it already sold, next time mark it higher. That's right, it did sell, and it's going to be in my sales video this weekend. I've always gone 50 to 70 on eBay, and apparently the smaller the better with that brand. So I thought this was really interesting, because she's right. So the item did sell really quickly. Again, you'll see it in my sales video that's coming up probably after this one. It'll be the next one that I put out there. But the dress sold in less than a day for $35. I paid less than $5 for it, so I was really happy with that flip, and it was a new to me brand. And so when I saw her comment, I went back in and started looking at some of the comps again. Now, the majority of the comps did seem to sit around the $30 to $40 mark. So I feel like, you know, I can understand why I took that and why I was happy with that and why I priced the way I did. However, I delved a little bit deeper, and I did actually notice that my exact dress sold for $75 pre-owned just a couple of weeks ago, and that once in a while they did pop up where they were more into that $50 to $70 range. So sometimes with a very good brand, it is going to depend on how you are pricing, and if you ask for a little bit more, oftentimes you can get it. So in no way do I doubt what she's saying. I definitely think that she's correct, and obviously she has more experience than I do with that brand. Jude Connolly was a new to me brand, so I sort of went off the face value, as it were, with the comps. But I think potentially, you know, like I said, looking a little bit deeper and things like that, had I held out and waited a bit longer, I may have been able to get more for that piece. I am pretty satisfied. I wouldn't call it a fail, that was very dramatic. I am pretty satisfied with my one-day flip, $5 into 35. But it's food for thought, and not only with that brand moving forward, but other brands I might pick up that are new to me. I may very well take a little bit more time with my research and kind of look through the backlog of sales a bit more, because, you know, on eBay especially, you can see up to like 3 months, I think it is, in terms of time span for the solds. So maybe it is worth just flicking through a couple more pages and seeing how things are moving over a larger period of time, so that I can price accordingly and maybe get a few more dollars out of each of my items. So great tip, thank you so much for sharing that. Okay, so the next question comes from KP Gunther, and she says, please consider filming or addressing the challenges of selling on Poshmark, specifically when buyers add items to their bundle and then decline your offer. Also, how offers to likers often does not result in sales. Do you have these issues, and what are your strategies for new sellers? Thanks in advance. All right, I love that this comment came through. So I am very outspoken on my channel about how much I enjoy selling on Poshmark. I really, really like it as a platform. And I'm at the point now where I have about 500 items in my closet. I'm listing 5 to 10 daily, and that's resulting in daily sales, usually of multiple items. However, I don't talk very much about some of the issues you might come across on Poshmark, and I'm really glad this comment came through, because again, food for thought. It got me thinking, got the wheels turning, and so let's talk about some of the more common issues that you may come across when you're selling on the Poshmark app. Number one, you're gonna still have some of the customer issues that you would have on other platforms. You still get irate buyers, you still get people opening a case, you still get people asking all kinds of questions about what, you know, a certain item, and then all of a sudden disappearing. You still get people purchasing an item, and while they don't have the option to pay later, so it's not like you have unpaid items, sometimes if their payment information isn't correct, then the sale won't go through, and you're waiting on them to either correct their payment information or for somebody else to buy the item as well. I will say I found with Poshmark that when it comes to customer issues, they are resolved in a much cleaner manner. I don't have to interact too much with the people, other than just to kind of put my side of the story, as it were, there in the case. If you haven't seen my customer issues video that I did recently, I'll link it right here in the cards, just in case you are wanting to learn a little bit more about what that looks like on Poshmark. When it comes to sending out offers on Poshmark, KP Gunther is absolutely right. Sometimes they're sending out the offers to likers and things like that. It doesn't result in a sale. In fact, the majority of the time it probably won't. But I do find that, me personally, the way that I choose to do it is I'm very proactive. I send out an offer to liker on almost every single like that I get, and as soon as I see it. I'm not really shy about doing that. That's not for everybody. Some people do it once a week, some people do it once a month, some people wait for closet clear out before they do any kind of discount. I price my items with that particular action in mind, so that I know that when I send out my 10 or 20% discount, I'm still honoring market value, and I'm not necessarily shortchanging myself in terms of getting the fast sale but giving away something for way less than I absolutely should. That being said, much of the time you can send out an offer and you hear absolutely nothing. Sometimes you get a counter offer, sometimes people just buy. I would say that since I send out an offer on everything right away, and I do get multiple sales. Let's say that on average I get 2 sales on Poshmark a day. Since I send out an offer to liker on basically every single like that goes through my news feed, the majority of those sales do tend to come from me offering a discount. I offer the discount on the item, and then I offer a shipping discount if it's just a straight up offer to liker, and then if it's a bundle, like somebody likes multiple items and I go ahead and bundle them for them, or they bundle them themselves and I offer discount, I usually will not offer a shipping credit as well, just because I don't have to when it's a bundle offer. But as you can imagine, if I'm sending out offers on every single like, then I'm probably sending out, I don't know, maybe like 30, 40 offers a day, something like that. It just depends on how active I've been and how active my closet has been on that particular day. And if I'm only getting sort of 1, 2, 3 sales a day on Poshmark, that kind of gives you a realistic idea about how that ratio works in terms of taking the action of sending out an offer and it actually resulting in a buyer purchasing the item. I honestly couldn't speak to how my sales would be if I just completely scrapped offer to likers on a daily basis like I do, and if I just waited like once a week. I have no idea what that would do. I suppose that would be an interesting experiment to do. Maybe I'll do that one day, I'm not sure. But it's just the way that I choose to run my business right now. It's my current business model, and so I'm happy with it. It's a small amount of effort, I think, that for me results in a fair amount of sales, enough that I feel satisfied right now. In terms of people declining offers, whether it's they put the items in a bundle and you think, oh, this must be a sure thing, I'm going to send a great offer, and then they just decline it. They don't even counter offer. You know, you send out just a general offer to likers, sometimes people will just decline, they won't counter offer. I mean, people like things for different reasons. People put things in bundles for different reasons. They could be wanting to take some more time to think about the purchase. They could be liking an item because they're thinking about it for a friend or for a later purchase for themselves. They're just not interested in buying right now. There's all kinds of different reasons, and my main thing would be, don't take it personally. On a personal note, I don't often decline an offer. If somebody is sending me an offer and I'm like, oh, no way, I don't think I really want to buy that, I'll just unlike the item, and that's easily done. They're not in my feed anymore. They don't have the ability to send an offer to me, and all is good. I don't often decline, but again, that's personal. That's just the way that I choose to do it. Some people think that that's going to be good, you know, you're being direct, you're letting the person know, they don't waste their time with sending you an offer. They may think they're doing you a favor. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. Just say, oh, okay, I guess they're not buying, and move on. Okay, so the next comment is from Autumn Fair 2121, and they said, when I used to work at Plato's Closet, we would only buy current trendy items no more than 2 years old. A couple of tips would be to find out what they're looking for. So sometimes they'll have a board or will tell you what they're looking for certain styles. That means it's trendy or it's selling fast, or they're low in stock for those styles. Some items will sell better or worse at different stores, so be mindful of that when looking at their inventory. And also seasonality is a big thing. They're least likely to buy winter coats in the summer. So I wanted to share that because in my last weekly comments, I think it was that video, I get lost now. Anyway, in one of my videos in the last week or so, I was talking about my trying to give some clothes, like some things that weren't selling for me, to a consignment store. It actually was Plato's Closet, and they wouldn't take a single item, and I was sharing it because I know why. None of it was in style, none of it was necessarily in season properly. At the end of the day, it was things that I couldn't move on several internet platforms where I have a much wider audience. So why I thought that they would take it, I don't know. I guess I was trying my luck, and I just thought it would be an interesting experiment. Anyway, they didn't want to take a single piece, and I wanted to share this comment from Autumn Fair because it really helps to shed some more light. We talked about it a little bit last time, I know, with a different comment as well. But it sheds some more light on like what consignment stores are looking for, if that's part of your business model when you like to liquidate items that aren't selling, some of your inventory, or if it's just something you do once in a while to kind of get a little bit more cash flowing. I personally do that with kids clothing once in a while. So, you know, that's a tip if you have lots of rummage sales and things like that, or filler bags and they have some good kids clothing, stuff it down the sides when you think your bag's full and then take it to a kids consignment store. It's a nice way to get just a little bit of cash in hand. Anyway, I had talked in that last video about potentially going to these consignment stores and seeing exactly what they're selling, because obviously they are fairly in touch with the trends, as it were, and the brands and things like that that are moving fast for them. You can always ask them, or like she said there, you can see a board sometimes when you first walk in that'll tell you the type of things they're looking for. And this can also be a great indicator for us as, you know, fashion resellers as to what is moving quickly in the marketplace in general. So just another way to source some data, I suppose, when it comes to what to buy and when. Okay, the next thing that I was going to mention is from Kimberly Morris, and it's a very quick tip, but I mentioned in my last haul video, I found a dress called J. Crew Mercantile. I think it was how you pronounce it. And I didn't really know what it was. It was a plus size piece. It was a size 18. By the way, it sold in 3 minutes of listing. So maybe keep an eye out for the plus sizes in J.Crew Mercantile. Anyway, she and another person, Esther I think it was, if I got their name right, let me know that Mercantile is actually the way that they name their factory store now. When I looked at the tag inside of the dress that has like the style number and things like that, it's a fabric content tag usually on the inseam of the dress, has the style number so I could look up the actual name of the piece, and it also usually has the season, and it was from fall 2018, so it was a newer piece. But yes, apparently Mercantile is how they are now phrasing J.Crew factory. So great piece of information there. Okay, and last but not least, I have a question from Megan Longton, and she said, could you explain more about what you mean by lagan look? Thanks. Okay, so I know that I have mentioned in a couple of thrift videos very recently the pieces that I would use the keyword lagan look in the title. That is spelled Lagenlook, and it is a style basically. It's a very kind of I call it like the art teacher style. It's just how I think of it, but it's like a very boho style. It's very in style right now. You'll find a lot of pieces that have like a linen blend or just a 100% linen content. They're very boxy, by which I mean they don't have a fitted waist. They're usually slightly oversized. Some brands that would fall under are things like Flax, sometimes J. Jill, like their Love Linen line, have a very lagan look appearance. So my best advice would be to go ahead and just Google the keyword in general and see what pops up in Google Images, so you can get an idea of the overall style, and that way you can sort of decipher which brands and which pieces specifically that you would be able to use that keyword in your title, because it's definitely a good keyword to use as long as you use it correctly. Alright you guys, and that is all the comments and tips that I have to share with you this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to put your comments and your insights and your experience all down below. It is so nice to be able to share that with you guys, with people who are more seasoned than I and people who are newer than I. We just make a nice little community, so thank you for being part of it. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do think about hitting that subscribe button down below, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great week guys. Bye.